Management is saying be on time. Leadership is living the example in front of everyone. When you lead by example, people around you are inspired and say, wow, look at what they're doing. The challenge with leadership is that when you take care of yourself, those around you often can't handle your growth. Why? Because leadership demands sacrifice. You start training like an athlete, and those around you feel pressured. You change your diet, and suddenly everyone feels forced to rethink theirs. You start discussing intellectual topics, and no one wants to talk nonsense around you anymore. And I love seeing how this creates crises in those around me. For example, when I say, let's go skiing in January in the US, some people complain, but I don't know how to ski. My response is simple. Then stay behind or arrive 2 days early and pay for a lesson. And why? Because teaching someone who is 10 levels below takes enormous effort. In a short period, like 10 days in the snow, there isn't enough time to bring someone from a beginner level to where they need to be. If you feel like you're many levels behind, let me tell you something important. Change begins with your willingness to learn. What happens when you unlock yourself? Your mindset shifts. People start to notice, he's gone crazy. Maybe even newspapers like the New York Times will write articles saying, he's lost his mind. But let me tell you, that's my problem. I don't believe a nation's transformation comes only from politics, but from the mindset of its people. I've participated in 2 political campaigns, and do you know what I learned? If there isn't a critical mass of people with the same mindset, you can't win. It doesn't matter how much money you invest. If someone shows up with the same frequency I carry, I'll give them all my support, even all my money. For me, that's cheaper. But if I can't find anyone, I'll have to do it myself. We're not talking about taking over the republic. We're talking about transforming the mindset of a people. When I say I'm obligated to prosper, that's part of my purpose, and I want you to prosper alongside me. I am obligated to prosper, and that obligates me to make others prosper as well. And when you prosper, you will feel the same obligation. Within you is the same mechanism that I have, but maybe it's switched off. When you understand that you are part of the kingdom, you will say, I am also obligated to help others prosper. I sit with people and say, you're going to buy a plane. And usually the response is, me? Never. So I explain, every wealthy person I know, billionaires, multimillionaires, who doesn't have a plane, doesn't own one because of fear. Fear of crashing, fear of what others will say, fear of seeming extravagant, or even fear of going broke because of the costs. Yes, owning a plane is a significant investment. If you don't know how to play the aviation game, it can harm you. But if you learn, it can transform your life. Now maybe you're thinking, we're poor. I can't even afford a car payment, let alone a plane. Let me tell you something. Never shut your mind down. Instead of closing doors, say, all right, I accept. Even if there were a cost to accept this frequency of expansion, it would still be worth it. But believe me, it's free. The problem lies in your mindset, which fights against you. Pay attention. There's one asset I want to highlight today: attention. This is the most valuable asset in the world. The more people understand what you do, the more prosperous you become. Whether it's through products, services, or ideas, if you master attention, you will become wealthy. Now, what is the purpose of wealth? To transform lives. There are 3 ways to impact people: improving, changing, or transforming. Write this down. 1. Improving someone's life is the cheapest. 2. Changing someone's life is mid-level. 3. Transforming someone's life is the most expensive and powerful. Do you want to become very wealthy? Create situations that transform lives. Human transformation has no price. Improvements are temporary. Changes have some impact, but transformation is permanent. Here's an example. A woman goes to the salon, gets a treatment, and returns home with a new look. The cost was $1,000 US. That wasn't just an improvement, it was a change. Changes affect not only her but also everyone around her. However, her husband might not appreciate the cost, wanting the benefit without paying the price. If you manufacture something like chewing gum, you're merely improving someone's moment. But if you work with something that transforms people, like cosmetics that enhance appearance or services that elevate self-esteem, you're in a market of incalculable value. That's why the wealthiest people deal with transformation. Remember, transformation has no turning back. Improvement is superficial, change is moderate, but transformation is eternal. To illustrate, let's use a simple example. Imagine 3 ways to deal with something unpleasant. Improving is spraying perfume over it. Changing is trying to hide it. Transforming is getting rid of it completely. The difference lies in the impact. Transformation changes the game and helps you prosper in a way that you'll never go back to where you started. Let's use a straightforward example. Imagine dealing with something unpleasant. Improvement is like spraying perfume on the problem. It may mask the odor for a while, but when the wind blows, the bad smell comes back. That's superficial. Change would be taking the problem, repositioning it, and putting it somewhere else. It changes location, but the essence remains the same. Transformation, however, is taking that problem, giving it a purpose, like turning waste into compost to enhance a crop. So even if you see yourself as something without value, remember, everything can gain a purpose. The secret isn't in what you are, but in what you do with it. If you feel like a problem, connect yourself to a purpose that transforms and amplifies your life and the lives of others. Got that insight? Now let's talk about the time machine. Say it with me. I need to accelerate time. How does that work? There are 2 clocks in life. 1. The chronological clock, which is immutable for everyone, governed by Chronos. Each hour has exactly 3,600 seconds, and no one can change that. 2. The value clock, which is the game changer. This clock doesn't measure the passage of time, but how much you grow, connect, learn, and develop. While Chronos's clock moves forward continuously, the value clock can either accelerate or stagnate. The more you understand, unlock, connect with people, acquire knowledge and wisdom, and face challenges, the faster the value clock moves. For some, it spins at full speed. For others, it barely moves. God doesn't favor one and ignore another. What he does is allow the value clock to advance based on your productivity, your decisions, and even how you handle failure. Say it with me. We only mature through failure. You need to embrace failure because it's the engine that accelerates the value clock. Now let me be direct.